Hey there, everybody. Another edition of Rams Roundup here. Matt Moro, pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Fordham men's basketball team, Jeff Neubauer. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, great to be here.
All right, so we've got a couple of games to look back on. You had the season opener in Texas, UT Arlington, a close loss, and then the home opener on Tuesday night, a 19-point win over Queens. Let's talk about the first game of the season real quick. The team goes down by 17 at points in this game, but the team is able to be resilient and come back. Is that the best thing you can take away from the season opener, that in your first action in a game, the team was able to fight all the way to the end of that one?
I think there was some resiliency, so that certainly is a good word to use to describe our group. What we're trying to do right now is develop our defensive mentality, and we certainly gave up way too many points in defensive transition down in Texas. So I think Arlington got 24 points in transition, and we've just made it very clear we're not going to win any game this season where we give up 24 points in transition. We also gave up a total of 77 points, and we're not winning any game in which we give up 77. So the idea is we've got to guard better. I thought we made a good step in our game against Queens. We defended better. We're not there yet, and this team is going to improve. That's absolutely my message to everyone, including our players. We are going to get better.
What steps did you guys take between those couple of days with the loss on Saturday, but then the home win against Queens? It was a fun, exciting, start to that game. You go up 14-1. What improvements did you see from the team between game 1 and 2?
It began with defensive transition. So we really reinforced our plan in transition, and we did a better job guarding the ball in transition. So we're going to continue to get better at that. Our guys have to understand the importance of it and the amount of desperation that must be involved. Now, the other thing that we haven't done well yet is our value for the ball. We've turned it over way too much in both games. With FDU coming in here, they are the best team in the country right now at stealing the ball from people, and so our value will be tested.
Now, your system is certainly a high-octane system, and a couple of the guys who have had success early on for you are Mandel Thomas and John Sevier. I mean, are those the guys you expected to have to step up early in this campaign for the team to start to have some success?
Well, I'm not actually certain who are going to be our best players. I'm not certain who's going to step up for us. I do think both of those guys are very good basketball players. Mandel's been very consistent throughout the preseason, throughout our scrimmages, and now through 2 games. I think John's played super basketball through 2 games, and a lot of it for those two comes from our defense, where we've been able to create transition opportunities.
Someone we're going to talk to in a few minutes on Rams Roundup is Ryan Rhoomes, a senior forward. What have the upperclassmen brought to you here in your first year at Rose Hill, coming from playing under a different staff, but now so many new players that they have to play with? What have they done to really mesh the two eras together?
Well, certainly just having guys that have Division I experience, and not only that, but Atlantic 10 experience, really valuable. So Mandel, Antoine, Christian, Ryan Rhoomes, those guys have been through a lot of battles. They haven't been successful in battles. However, they've seen it. They know what it's about. I cannot tell you how important their experience is to this group.
Now, finally, your team doesn't leave New York City for the next 9 games. How important is that going to be for the early part of the schedule, that you play that first game in Texas, but then it's 9 straight home games, you get the first win against Queens, and the next game away from Rose Hill is still in New York City at Barclays Center in Brooklyn?
Yeah, and I can't tell you, I don't know how important it is, meaning I don't know exactly where our team is yet. We are certainly going to develop a home court advantage here, and what that means is eventually at some point there are going to be a lot of people in the stands here at our games, and our team is going to play great. We're not at that point yet.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us on this week's Rams Roundup.
Thanks, Matt.
Next up, we're going to talk to senior forward Ryan Rhoomes. Ryan, thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time today.
Thank you.
So, first 2 games are in the books. You had the season opener down in Arlington, UT Arlington. It was a tough battle, and you guys were down double digits in the second half, but were able to come back and fight to the very end of that game, make that a free throw shooting contest. What did you like about the effort in the second half of that season opener against UT Arlington, that your guys' squad was able to come back and make that such a tough game?
I mean, I didn't really like the game, the whole game period, but I mean, we got back. Our defense had to be better. We picked up a little bit, but it still needed to be a lot better than what it was. But I was surprised that we came back, and I'm not gonna say I was happy, but overall the effort needed to be way better than what it was. So I mean, it was good that we came back, but at the end of the day, it was still L. So.
Now, did you see the effort and some of the things that went wrong against UT Arlington? Did you see those things improve in the home opener on Tuesday against Queens?
Yes, we did a lot better on Tuesday. I know when Coach came back, he was very disappointed. He wanted us to win all the time. He believes in us. So we just picked up in practice for the last few days that we had, and we had 2 goals to come out with, so we try to see those goals as good as possible as we could.
What were some of the things that you came into this season thinking that you had to work on, and what are some of the things that you've seen yourself? I know it's still early, but have some success at working on throughout the summer, and now it's just the first 2 games. But what have you seen yourself improve on so far?
Well, over the summer I was trying to improve my scoring abilities. Everybody was saying like, "Oh, he could rebound, he could defend," but we need more on the scoring. The coach came in, he was like, "We need more from you." From the get-go, he said we need more. So I just been in the gym every day in the summertime. I was here for both sessions. I didn't have to be. Just trying to get my game right, and I'm scoring a lot better. I think my rebounding, went away a little bit, but I'm going to get back to it.
For the players, what is it like knowing that you guys have the rest of your non-conference schedule here in New York City, 9 straight home games, and then the first time you leave Rose Hill after that, you're going to Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So you don't even leave the city until next year, really. What is that like for the players, knowing that you're going to be here at home for that amount of time? It's
a really good feeling, but we got to get the W's. So, it's good to be home, but we can still lose at home, which we don't want it to be, but at the end of the day, we really got to get the 8 wins, 9 wins, whatever. Wins we got, games we got. We still got to get the wins.
How nice was it to get that first W in the book on Tuesday?
It was real nice to get. We needed it after the loss in Arlington. It was real nice. Everybody was happy. I was happy. But we got to move on to Saturday against FDU. Hopefully, we get 2 in the books and keep going from there.
Lastly, what are the things that you think the team needs to work on after games 1 and 2 going into Saturday's matchup against Fairleigh Dickinson?
Defense got to be a lot better. It all starts with defense. That's everything. We practice is just defense. We don't really practice. We have practice on offense, obviously, but the most important thing to us is defense. But our defense got to get a lot better because one of our goals was to stop, to not let Queens College score over 49. We scored 57. Of course, it's a little upset, but we got to get a lot better with defense.
A big thanks to Fordham head coach Jeff Neubauer and senior forward Ryan Rhoomes. The Rams are back in action on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. when they host Fairleigh Dickinson. And on Tuesday night, second half of a doubleheader with the women's team, the men take on Colgate. That's going to do it for this edition of Rams Roundup. Check us out every week on FordhamSports.com. And you can check out the games on the 810 Digital Network and listen on WFUV Sports.org. For this edition of Rams Roundup, I'm Matt Moro.